extremely Jewish community area. All the signs are in Hebrew and everything, right? So he's going there and he's studying Torah in the Yeshiva Institute. And you know what he says? After almost a year of studying Torah and memorizing parts of it and learning the language and being these people, the leadership of the community, of the Jewish community, the Orthodox of them, they used to look at me as an outsider, as an inferior. Because in Bani Israel, they consider themselves the chosen, right? So it's very hard for them to say, no, you can't come, you can't convert or whatever. But even if somebody does convert, they kind of look down on them like, this guy's, we own the religion, he's got it on rent. He doesn't really own it. So they look down on him. And he said, I sensed it. I sensed that they look down on me. They judge me every time they look at me. They make fun of me behind my back. I sensed it. I didn't want to feel like that. So I started looking again. Because if there's a true religion, then one thing that will be an easy sign of that true religion will be brotherhood. That's going to be a sign of it. That these people, their hearts have become soft towards each other. Because if God is soft in somebody's heart, then anybody else who believes also, there will be nothing between them but brotherhood. So he ends up in Masjid al-Taqwa. Thankfully, of the 300 masajid in New York, in the 5 boroughs at that time, now there's like 700 or 800 or something, he ends up at the right one, alhamdulillah. At Imam Siraj's masjid, there's a huge Yemeni community, an African American community, a Hispanic community, everybody knows everybody else. It's a very friendly environment. And so he just attended Jumu'ah prayer, just sitting there attended Jumu'ah prayer, and after Jumu'ah, or as he saw the people coming in for Jumu'ah of multiple ethnicities, shaking hands, hugging each other, asking each other how they're doing, he's like, this is it. He took Shahada, no dawah, nobody did dawah to him. He had looked up how to do the Shahada, what you have to say. He's like, yeah, this is it. And we're sitting there listening to him like, whoa. Thank God you weren't at our masjid, bro, because you would have kept on looking. You would have ended up some Buddhist temple or something. There is something to this. When we're going to call people to Islam, when we're going to invite outsiders to Islam, there's something we're calling them to that's beyond just ideas. Islam is not just ideas. The ideas that are true, ideas can be true and false. But the deen of Allah is more than ideas. It affects not just what you know, but how you act, how you live, what your personality is like, how you deal with other people. And if it is the true religion, then it's not just that you have the right kinds of knowledge and the right kinds of ideas, and you memorize the right kinds of words. That's not enough. But your personality shows it. And that in and of itself becomes dawah. That in and of itself becomes a call to brotherhood. Or a call to peace and harmony. Because one of the most fundamental aspects of harmony is harmony between human beings. And our deen, it gives us that. It gives us, Allah says in the Quran, He says about the believing community, He says, وَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ. He put love between your hearts. He put love between your hearts. Now think about that. Allah said about you and me, the believers, that He put love in between our hearts. What is the only basis of that love? What's the basis? What is the reason for that love? Why would I love you? I don't even know you. I'm not from the same country as you. I don't speak the same language as you. I'm not the same age as you. I don't have the same profession as you. I have nothing in common with you except what? La ilaha illallah. That's it. Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's enough. And it's not any kind of like I like you or I don't hate you. That's not enough. Allah said He put love between us. He put that love. Which means it's not any weak kind of love. It's not just any kind of love. It's not just some average relationship. This relationship, I didn't create it. Who did? Allah did. Allah put that love. So if you and I don't feel like brothers, if you look at me and you're like, this guy, I can't stand him. And I look at you like, here's another joker. It's like, there's thoughts going on in our head. Then maybe Allah is not talking to us. Because Allah is talking to true believers. True believers have love. If we don't feel that about our brother, if we don't have that feeling, then maybe we're not the audience that Allah is talking to. Because that ayah is about believers. That ayah is about people who have turned back to Allah, who used to be at the edge of hellfire and Allah pulled them back. وَكُنْتُمْ عَلَى شَفَا حُفْرَةٍ مِنَ النَّارِ فَأَنْقَذَكُمْ مِنْهَا. هذا في الآية. This is the message in the ayah. You were at the very tip of the hellfire and He pulled you back. He brought you into this brotherhood, into this Islam. I wanted to not talk to you about brotherhood today. I want to talk to you about dawah. That's what I want to talk to you about. But I can't talk to you about dawah until we that's the building, what you need first? The foundation. And one of the parts of that foundation is our brotherhood. That's our brother, you know. We have to be grateful to Allah that we're able to say La ilaha illallah. And we're able to say that. There's so many people that are not able to say that. And those who say that with me, man, I'm supposed to be close to them. But now I'll tell you why there's a deep, deep relationship between da'wah and brotherhood. Why those two things are very connected to each other. You know, if you've ever been on a mission, like maybe a project at work, it's kind of like a mission, right? You have to finish this task, and you're working with a team of people. Or you're traveling with somebody, or you're playing sports and you know, there's same people on a team. A lot of times, especially when there's a huge task ahead and you're making progress and stuff, you know what's really important for a team to succeed? What's really, like a team will not succeed. And those guys that play basketball, if there's 3-on-3 going on, and 3 guys are arguing with you, hey, don't pass the ball, man. You ball hog, you can't keep taking the shot. You're going to break anyway. Just pass it off. Why do you give me like these law passes? Why does a bullet pass to my face? Why every time? And they're arguing with each other, right? And the other team is synced together, they're passing, they don't even have to look at each other to pass the ball. And it's all like, it's like clockwork, right? Who's going to win? The team that is arguing with each other, or the team that's synced together? The team that's synced together. The team that's like, even if they have a problem, they get together, bro, do this next time? Okay, I got you. All right, handshake. There's no arguing, there's no criticism, there's no cynicism. That's teamwork. The same thing happens at work or no? If you have a team that's doing a project, if you're arguing with each other, the job doesn't get done. If you have a job to get done, what must you have? Synchronization, unity, brotherhood. You have to have that. And especially when you do a big job and you're together, like you've seen like a close big job example, even though I don't like to give the examples from professional sports, is teams in sports. When they win a championship, when they win the bowl, when they win whatever, they're hugging each other, they're going crazy, we made it. There's this brotherhood between them. And forever they'll remember this is what unites us. We were brothers on the team. We did this together. You understand? The same thing happens with soldiers. When they go on, when they go on in the military, not every soldier knows everybody else. And actually this even happens in the United States military, for example. You have, it's separated into branches. So the Navy is separate, and the Air Force is separate, and the Army is separate, and the Marine Corps, etc., etc. They're separate branches. And a lot of times these different branches, they hate on each other. They can't stand each other. But if it happens that on the battlefield there's a Marine, and there's an Army soldier, and they end up together somehow in a difficult situation, right? And they help survive together. Doesn't matter if they're from separate places, what happens after that one mission? Forever now they are brothers. This is my boy right here. He's going to call him every week and this and that. A bond is created when you're on the same mission. Now I'll come back to Dawah. One of the main missions of our ummah is to do the work of Dawah. If we're not brothers, that mission can't get done. You can't do it individually. Dawah, you can do a little bit of Dawah individually, but it doesn't mean much. In the end, it's a collective effort. It's a communal thing. It's a communal thing. That job will not get done unless we're synced together. Unless we take advantage of each other's talents. And we don't reinvent the wheel. A lot of times there's a reinvention of the wheel. You know what that means, right? Somebody else is doing it and you do it over again. No, you need to build off of that and do something more. That's what synchronization is all about. No two people are doing the same thing. The people are complementing each other's efforts. That doesn't happen until this brother. So now I want to give you some idea, at least in these last 15 minutes or so, I want to give you some idea of some aspects of da'wah that are not often talked about. That at least, inshallah, helps us organize our thoughts about the work of da'wah. There's an ayah in the Quran that basically gives us a clue that there are going to be 3 stages of da'wah. There are going to be 3 kinds of da'wah, you could say. Da'wah, once again, for those who don't know the Arabic term, inviting people to Islam. The invitation to Islam. Okay? 3 kinds of people they're going to be. The most common, the first one, is going to be masses of people, the majority of people, the common masses, you can call it. Ash-sha'b in Arabic, right? The common people, everybody. And at the level of everybody, you need to be able to deliver a message that anybody can understand. It's a simple message, it's a straightforward message, and it's a message full of good advice. It's good advice on how people should live, what they can do to make their life better. In the end, our religion, one of its most essential benefits, if you follow it, if you believe in it, if you practice it, it makes your life better. It brings peace to your marriage, it brings peace between you and your friends, it brings you peace in yourself, it brings you peace at the workplace, you're not, you're at peace with yourself and others around you. It brings you these benefits. And for the masses of people, what is needed? Good advice. That's the kind of dawah that's needed at the level of the masses. They need to be shown the beauty of this deen and how it's good counsel and good advice. As I talk about dawah today, I want you to remember how many kinds of people? Three kinds of people. But I also want you to remember that dawah is two parts. So at every one of these levels, there's two parts. And those two parts are speech and action. For a da'i, for someone who invites people to Islam, they have to have good speech and also good action. If you have good speech and your action doesn't show it, like I talk to you about brotherhood and somebody comes up to me afterwards and say, get away from me, bro. I won't talk to you. Even though I call him bro. Right? If I do that, then my actions don't reflect my speech. It's useless then. It's pointless. It has no weight. It has no credibility. Our speech has to be there. We should say the right thing, and we should also act. Allah tells us this about da'wah in the Quran, by the way. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. هذه هي الدعوة. This is what da'wah is. You call to Allah and you act righteously. There's speech and there's action. Okay, so the first kind of people was common masses.